Welcome to the Story Lab. Today, we are again working on recutting or restructuring an existing project. In earlier experiments we have challenged ourselves to rearrange a movie trilogy into a TV series. Today, we try it the other way around, restructuring Star Trek Picard as a movie trilogy. What is the idea exactly? Star Trek Picard's individual seasons feel very unconnected to the point of contradicting each other. Only the third season has been accepted by fans as being decent. Still, many individual scenes are very enjoyable. We restructure the series into 3 movies with roughly the following structure. Movie 1, the plot of Season 1 of the series. Movie 2, the plot of the first half of Season 3. Movie 3, the plot of the second half of Season 3. Okay, we will not need many ingredients for this experiment. Let's list them quickly. The series Star Trek Picard itself, since it is what we are going to work upon. An overall theme of hopefulness. A 3-movie structure, where every movie should have a beginning, a middle and an end for itself, while the movies as a whole should act as beginning, middle and end of the overall story. A warning up front. Naturally, the story will be significantly shortened compared to the series. Removing events, side stories, and even whole episodes will be allowed to make this recut possible. The second season will be mostly abandoned. And, while the mixture is cooking, please also note that given the removal of several side storylines, the character journeys of the individual crew members might be significantly impacted. If this is the case, it must not affect the main characters, apart from correcting inconsistencies. Okay, the analysis is nearly through. Let's have a look at the results. The Star Trek Picard trilogy. The 3 movies primarily adapt the third season of Picard, and thus the ultimate enemy of the story should be the Borg. Specifically, the Borg from earlier in Picard's life, which is why most of the second season of the series will be discarded. Similarly, we will focus much less on the character journeys of the young protagonists of the first 2 seasons, as they never appear in the third season. Movie 1. The movie begins exactly as the streaming series began. We see an old Jean-Luc Picard, who has retired to his mansion in France, with no one left to him except his dog and his loyal Romulan housekeepers. We also immediately learn about the attack on Mars by synthetic androids and the subsequent ban of synthetics, including the fact that Picard resigned because of that, and that Raffi was kicked out as well. In a scene with his old friend and doctor, we also learn that Picard is still suffering from Irumodic syndrome. The story takes off when mysterious Romulan assassins show up and try to murder Darj. Darj flees to Picard and asks for his help. Picard deduces that she is an android. Then, Darj gets murdered. Picard now has a new mission, to find out what happened to Darj. During that investigation he learns that Darj had a twin. With the help of his Romulan friends, Picard finds out that Soji is not on Earth, but on the artifact, a leftover Borg cube. Up to this point, we made use of nearly the entirety of the initial episodes of the series. That will now drastically change, as we are ready to head into space. Raffi's drug problems will be cut from the story. Instead, she immediately agrees to help Picard find a ship to fly to Romulan space with. Similarly, most of Rio's story arc will be cut. He will try to act all tough and grumpy in the first scenes, but Picard sees through him right away, revealing that he was former Starfleet. From then on, Rios will simply be sympathetic. The one major character arc that we will keep for now is that of Dr. Agnes Jurati, because this will introduce us to Commodore O. The crew assembles on Rios' ship and they depart. This is the beginning of the second act of the movie. We then jump over multiple episodes of the original series directly to the approach on the artifact, the old stranded Borg cube in Romulan space. Through this, we cut out several story elements, the arrival of Elna, the encounter with Bruce Maddox and Dr. Jurati's relationship with him, as well the appearance of 7 of 9. Elnor will be present though, with the implication being that he was also part of Picard's household before, we just never saw him. 7 of 9 will be completely absent from this first movie. Picard goes aboard the artifact to search for Soji, but is nearly overwhelmed by the memories of his time with the Borg. Then, Soji suddenly appears in front of him. Of Soji's story we get to see a lot as well, her getting to know the sneaky Romulan boy, her interactions with the assimilated Romulans and her finding out about her fake existence. It all culminates when the Romulan tries to kill her, activating her android instincts. This will be the midpoint of the movie. On her escape, Soji meets Picard and his friend Hugh evacuate her through a long-range transporter. Rios and his ship manage to escape the conventional way, with only a small Romulan craft chasing after them. In our version, it is implied that the Romulans keep control of the artifact, and Elnor simply returned to the La Sirena before they flew away. We then get a calming element to the movie, while Picard and Soji hang out with the Rikers on their planet. Soji uses that time to get to grips with the idea that she is an android, while Picard nearly completes his journey of giving up retirement. On board Rios' ship, Raffi figures out the backstory from sketches she downloaded at the artifact, mostly of screen though. What we do see is how Dr. Jurati figures out that she had been given a Romulan tracking device and destroys it, providing the last piece of the puzzle for Raffi. Immediately after picking up Picard and Soji, Raffi tells everyone what she found out and they proceed to the hidden android planet. Once there, we meet Alton Noonien Singh and the other androids. We are now firmly within the last act of the movie. A Romulan fleet approaches and Soji and the androids turn on the humans. The action on the planet is reduced quite a bit due to the absence of many back and forths with the Romulan spy and his sister, who is absent from this fight. We do see the fight in orbit play out though, with Picard holding the Romulan fleet until the arrival of Riker with Starfleet. Then, Picard collapses from his illness and his essence is transferred into the android body. The movie ends with the sober scene of the humans saying goodbye to Data's last neurons, before departing the planet. There is a post-credit scene though, Dr. Crusher being attacked on her ship, locking up Jack and arming herself. Movie 2. Movie 2 starts with a couple of scenes from the second season, that basically clean up the characters from the first movie. We have Elnor as a Starfleet cadet, Jurati and Soji as ambassadors and Jean-Luc Picard being up and about again, visiting Guinan's new bar. That last scene then transitions into the scene from the third season, where Picard is approached by cadets about what it is like to be captain. While he starts giving his speech, the scenery transitions to Jean-Luc at his home, receiving a message from Beverly Crusher. The rest of the movie adapts the story of the first half of the third season of the series. Picard and Riker appropriate the Titan A and use her to intercept Beverly's ship, only to find themselves under attack by Vardek. Jean-Luc also learns that he has a son. Meanwhile, Raffi and her secret handler Worf figure out that Vardek has a teleportation portal gun. The movie ends with the Titan managing to drive Vardek away and escaping from the nebula that births new life forms. In the closing scenes we have Picard finishing his speech in Guinan's bar and Jack speaking to him, and we get another post-credit scene, Jack hearing a dark voice and getting a vision of destroying everything. Movie 3. Movie 3 adapts the rest of the Picard series. The crew of the Enterprise D slowly reunites as they figure out who is the power behind Vardek. In the end, they discover the plot of the Borg, but can stop it with the help of their old ship, that Geordi restored. Any references to content that we cut away would of course have to be deleted, but overall, the story works well, with Data Alor being rebuilt by Alton Sung, Picard being an android and the whole story about the Irumodic syndrome. This story connects heavily with the first movie, bringing the story full circle. And that is the whole restructured story. It is certainly shorter than the real series. Do you like it? Please note that everything presented here is simply the results of an experiment. No part of this presentation is intended as a correction of an existing story or claims to be the real story. The selection or omission of any parts of the source material is not to be understood as commentary, positive or negative, on the original productions. These are simply thoughts and experiments based on existing material, and none of it could be created without the work of all those involved in creating the original works. As with any scientific result, you may utilize any of the story ideas that resulted from these experiments for your own experiments or production, while citing this experiment as its source. It is now closing time for our lab. Goodbye until next time.